Becker to serve. First set. Play. $15 love. $30 love. $40 love. $40-15.
Also low volley for Becker. Yes.
The return of serve here that causes the damage. Becker unable to get it away, that high return, and the ever-faithful backhand of Edberg flashing the ball down the line. It's his favourite side, the backhand.
Game Becker, first game.
So satisfactory opening game for the holder of the title, Boris Becker, and got his first 3 serves in quite happily.
So a great day also for all those people who work so hard throughout the year to support and motivate the players. At the back there in the corner, in his customary seat, Bob Brett, a disciple of Harry Hopman, the great Australian Davis Cup coach, an Australian himself who's been working with Becker since the end of 1987, the year he had a fairly acrimonious split with Günter Bosch, the Romanian-born German coach who had been with him since a boy. And in the front corner, Annette Olsen, the girlfriend of Stefan Edberg, and if we pan right a little, I'm sure we'll see Tony Pickard. There he is, the former British Davis Cup player and captain, who for many years now has been the guide, philosopher and friend of Stefan Edberg. Their relationship is a very good one. They each respect the other, and I'm sure Stefan's mental improvement, because he always was slightly hesitant about thinking of himself as a great player. I think the improvement is largely due to Tony's prompting. Love one.
$15 love. 15 all.
Fine return by Becker there, beautifully timed and well controlled in terms of trajectory.
$15.30.
Yes.
$30 all.
Very strong second service and a lovely volley.
$40.30.
Mistimed.
Game, Edberg. One game all.
Well, a mistimed backhand by Becker there off a service that was only 3/4 length. Now, for the first time, he'll be serving in the sun, but not as strong as it was when they started the match. And he won't be too sorry about that, I don't think.
Ooh. 15 love.
And that's rather unusual. Becker losing his rhythm of steps and his cadence of steps, almost at one time looking as though he's going to fall over. Pretty keyed up, I imagine. Not physically relaxed yet.
$15.30.
About 6 feet behind the baseline. Edberg to return the serve, which is what brought him great success in 1988. Getting the ball down to Becker's feet as he comes in.
Out.
15-40.
So Becker rather insecure below the height of the net against his low returns, 2 break points. just out.
Game Edberg. Edberg leads 2-1, first set.
So the first break of serve achieved by some wonderful returning, this time stepping in early to take the second serve as it rises and just blocking it back to make a very awkward half volley for Becker as he came in. And this is how he made it. Look just on or inside the baseline and blocking it back so that it keeps low. And he achieved some marvellous returns in the course of that game, just as he did in 1988. That'll bring back some happy memories for him. Because last year, if you'll remember, and I thought we might be seeing the same thing again, he was shell-shocked by some blasting returns from Becker, which on Edberg's first service game just now, he achieved in 2 of the points and forced errors immediately, or hit winners really. So he'll be pleased to have changed the course of events from last year. So the champion already under threat, having had his booming serve broken. 2-1.
How is Edberg going to cope with the sun? That certainly was very, very close, but no appeal. It's a topspin backhand, and it looks as though it was just out, I think.
All.
A comparatively easy volley. It was certainly well out. Just what Becker needed at this stage. Lovely backhand pass. Reached.
Well, this is the way to cover the net behind your serve, having to play a volley off his body and now having to leap wide to his right. But he could have gone the other way. He was beautifully balanced. So a very sharp start by Stefan Edberg. 30-all.
.40-30. Deuce.
First double fault in the match.
So once again, Stefan Edberg on the attack and showing us how to cover the net and displaying beautiful touch and control on that stop volley. Just look at the balance here. He could go either way. He just 2 little overlapping skip steps to get the smash and then quick court coverage. Little skid into the forehand stop volley.
Game Edberg. Edberg leads 3 games to 1.
So Edberg away well in this first set with the break of serve, and that last service was not a serve of power but a service of placement. Oh yes. And here's a surprise.
Love 15.
Edberg just gets out of the way of that one, straightened his body, and there he produces an angle that I didn't think that he could possibly make under that sort of pressure. Love 15. A little bit of breeze in the centre court, but not enough to really trouble the players, I don't think. Well, not too much, anyway.
Love 30.
It's a long time since I saw Becker having such trouble below the height of the net, looking at the sun, but he's serving there with the sun on his back. But usually such a good half volleyer and low volleyer. Shows the quality of the returns of serve, I think.
First service. First service. Love 40.
Three break points.
$15.40.
Rather a more powerful delivery then.
Game Edberg. Edberg leads 4 games to 1. First set.
So Stefan Edberg is being given a very easy ride at the moment by Becker's very, very short serving. In the course of that last game, as here on the last point, the break point, it barely halfway up the court, making that return very easy and forcing the error as Becker comes in. And he's worried about his volleys. He should be more worried about getting the serve in rather deeper. Let's look at it from Becker's point of view. He has to hurry this volley because it comes back to him really before he has time to get set, and he misses. And it's all happening because Edberg is standing well back on the first ball, and then just moving in behind
Time.
his second delivery, his second return.
No, it's interesting, really, isn't it? This how Becker has definitely taken the speed off his serve. I wonder, John, whether seeing Edberg being so far away from the baseline, he's actually trying to shorten his serve to bring Edberg forward, but it's obviously not paying off at all.
Edberg serving 4-1, first set.
Love 15.
Edberg attempting there, a very delicate half volley, but saw Becker on the way to it, never finished the shot. Love 15.
All.
And as usual overhead, Edberg very elegant in smashing action, as well as being, of course, very effective. Should be shaking his head. He's having some mistiming blows here. That was a dreadful forehand. 40-15.
Game Edberg. Edberg leads 5-1, first set.
And hasn't had to work really very hard to get there. First set.
Out. 15 love. Love. First service. 40 love. $40-15.
$40-15. Yes.
Game Becker. New balls, please.
First ace of the match, and Becker then opening his shoulders,
Edberg
which
leads
he
5
hasn't
games to
really
2.
done
First
in
set.
this first set of serving.
Yes, it's the best game we've seen from Boris Becker on serve. In fact, his first ace. He's looking rather apprehensive, but certainly the statistics, I'm sure, are well in favour of Stefan Edberg on the first serve, 63% to 57%. Take into consideration in that last game, Becker put 4 out of his 5 first serves into play, so that'll give you an indication of how poorly Becker served in the earlier part of the match. And second serve percentage there for Boris Becker only 22%, and that really illustrates, I think, the quality of Stefan Edberg's return, and also, as the point has been made, how short his second serve is, and that is obviously a major contributing factor. But it is interesting to me how deflated Boris Becker looks. He's in a situation here where he's having to react to his opponent. Normally he's the initiator on the tennis court. His opponent's normally struggling to contain his power. The roles are quite reversed here. So Edberg now with a chance to take this first set. It's 5-2.
Oh. 15 love.
Edberg serving with the new balls.
$30 love.
And Becker very severely wrong-footed there with that forehand volley.
$40 love.
So whatever's gone wrong, Bob Brett must be wondering. The coach has a difficult role always. Everything he does is done before they come out on court. He can only sit and suffer now.
3 set points.
Game first set, Edberg. Edberg wins the first set 6 games to 2. Second set, Becker to serve.
And he wins it in 29 minutes without having to work too hard at all. And it seems to me that Becker is woefully short of adrenaline at the moment. Second set.
$15 love. 15 all.
Well, now here is a wonderful return of serve that forces Becker to make an awkward volley. He slips again as he tries to play it. He's been over many, many times, even when the grass has dried out.
$15 all.
$30-15.
So somebody else who's no doubt suffering, Jan Tiriac, who's been Becker's manager since 1984.
$30-15. Well, that's a gem. Lovely footwork. And this is lovely footwork. He runs around his backhand in time to play that shot across there, which is normally a backhand cross-court reply, and it's such a good one, that. And certainly Becker wasn't awake to that. 30 all.
$40-30.
$40-30.
Game Becker. First game, second set. First set, Edberg.
Don't forget,
Time.
so Boris Becker, don't forget, lost the first set against Masur and against Ivanisevic, and yet found the champion's touch in time to defeat them, but probably a tougher task today. And I can't help feeling, Dan, the atmosphere is a little less excited than it was last year and in previous years because of the loss of the standing room, replaced now by those courtside seats. We had the kids with placards and painted noses and faces then. A little lost, I think, in atmosphere.
$15-love.
Just out, was it? Edberg looks satisfied that it was in.
30-love.
And it was certainly in.
Well, Becker thinks this is out. He goes down and pats the mark afterwards, but rather difficult for us to tell Even in replay. 30 love.
That's a wonderful shot. Right out of the middle of his tummy. That was a very awkward ball.
40 love. First service. Game Edberg. One game all, second set.
Becker really finding it very difficult indeed to get right into his normal, vigorous, active game and powerful game. Really does look a bit bewildered out there today.
Love 15.
Well, if he's going to serve as short as this, Edberg's going to have a field day, as he does there, making him stretch and opening the court for the winning volley. It's the quality of serve from Becker that is letting him down very, very badly.
Love 30.
$15.30.
Oh.
15-40.
No, Becker really hardly got that ball out of his hand there. And that's always a sign of tension, nerves, when people do that. Second double fault. 2 break points. It's in.
Edberg leads 2-1, second set, and 1 set to love.
Well, no wonder Becker is distressed, because he's being totally outplayed, because he can't get his serve functioning as it usually does. He's not able to get enough first balls in for a start to put Edberg under pressure, and the second one is so woefully short. And what a lovely last point Edberg played on that service game. Look where this one lands, a little bit deeper this time, but still it's to his feet. And a very, very good volley that's deep, but an even better, almost half volley lob, just held up enough by the slight breeze today that keeps it in. There's the return of serve, blocked back to the feet. It's an effective one against Becker, who's a big man and has to stretch, and so well played on the volley that landed almost on the baseline. And no wonder he's charged up. Edberg is playing quite magnificently. Well, there's someone who'll be proud. Stefan's brother Jan, who's flown over to see him play this final. No wonder he's smiling. A set and a break ahead already. 2-1 in the second. And his job now is to maintain his game at this very, very high level. Like a caged tiger.
Quite a bit of wind blowing now out in the centre court. Oh, that's a very high volley. Well, he gets in very quickly here inside the service area, and a lovely touch on the forehand half volley. Comes in so well, doesn't he? Bends the knees, strokes the ball, caresses the ball, and that's a lovely stroke. Well, it was a better blow by Becker. It was well timed. It was low over the net. It wasn't directionally very good, but what a lovely volley from the server. It's in. Yes.
(40-15).
And Becker should be pleased with that back and return of service.
Edberg leads 3-1, second set.
First set history repeating itself. A really convincing service game might help the Becker cause.
Standing back, Edberg's given himself just enough time to see that fast first serve and direct the ball once more to the feet. The half volley just to mid-court, presenting an easy kill. It's the return of serve that's doing the damage. At that time, the serve was a good one.
That's a good return. The serve was a bit short, but the footwork of Edberg was tremendous there. Coming down to his backhand, he ran around the forehand and produced another outright winner, love 30. backhand lob. And Becker doesn't really know where he is out there at the moment. It's a lovely return, of course. It's a good pick-up half volley. He doesn't know what to do now, but there it comes. It's a glorious backhand lob with Becker fumbling at the net there. 3 break points for a 4-1 lead.
Edberg leads 4 games to 1, second set, and 1 set to love.
Well, I don't think anyone would have anticipated this happening out here today. And Becker really doesn't know what's happening either, I don't think. But he's really having problems on several points of view. But one important area which is having great difficulty, of course, normally he'll be dominating the match with his serve, and this is his great strength, and particularly on a grass court, he can normally hit his opponent off the court, and he's dealing with returns which tend to be fairly high shoulder height where he can hit aggressively. But the thing that Edberg is able to do so effectively today is to keep the ball so low, it's skirting the net. In fact, the last point there of that last game, the return is so low it hit the top of the net. And this is forcing Becker to get right into the net, playing the volley off his toes, and then having played a volley, perhaps successfully, is then vulnerable to the lob, which we've seen Edberg play with great effect. And to counterbalance that, in the entire match so far, Becker has only hit 3 really good returns, and 2 of those came on the first Edberg service game where he took him to 15-30. So his confidence has been whittled away on the return as well.
Love 15.
So here is something to lift Becker's spirits. A mishit return of serve, in fact, producing the opportunity for that rasping backhand pass, helped by the net.
all. $30-50.
Well, now he timed this one all right, almost for the first time in this set. I think he's decided that he's simply got to have a go and trust that his timing will find itself. 30 all.
Better stroke. At last, it's good to see Becker having a go at this outright pass with the backhand. Slightly bad bounce.
Edberg leads 5 games to 1, second set.
And so, once again, Becker at 1-5.
Love.
Becker moving more confidently then. Looking more like the athlete that we know he is. Yes.
Love.
And Becker there a couple of steps nearer the net than he's been on any service so far. Well inside the service court. Fine return. Well, interesting change of tactics here. The receiver comes in, tries to pinch the initiative by coming in and chipping, but his chip was far too high. Almost first bit of loose play, perhaps, that we've seen from Edberg.
Game, Becker. Edberg leads 5 games to 2 second set and 1 set to love.
Gentlemen, dare I suggest to you both that the reason that Becker is having such a bad time here is because his service just isn't working. And the service is, of course, the spearhead of his attack. And without the serve, no player really produces his norm.
So often the serve is the barometer of any player's form on the day. But of course, the reason he's not serving well is that Edberg, from game 3 of the match, started to return in dreamlike fashion. Becker, you'll remember, started well enough, went to 40 love in the opening game and held to 30, and was 15 love, all going well in game 3, but then he was forced to hit a forehand volley into the net, a backhand volley into the net, a forehand volley out, because this man was crunching those returns to his feet. And it's gone like that ever since. And frankly, Mark, I don't know what he's going to do to change the course of events.
Well, I think we saw Becker starting to open his shoulders. It's all about confidence, really, and Edberg is the man with the confidence. But Becker's got to hit some shots to revive his confidence. He's got to really go for the return of serve, prepared to step in and take a chance. And the same on his serve, too.
Serving then for 2 sets to love lead, Edberg. Beautiful return.
Love 15.
That's the one we've often commented on, this backhand in the right court, in the forehand court, hitting it away from his body, one of his favourite shots. Love 15.
All.
I think the other thing we haven't mentioned is that Edberg today is about half a yard quicker than Becker in all that he's doing, and he's thinking quicker too.
30-15.
Fine angled smash, 30-15. And 2 set points for Edberg.
Game is second set, Edberg, 6 games to 2. New balls, please. Edberg leads 2 sets to love.
And he's won those 2 sets in 56 minutes. So now, the champion, Becker, has got to dig very deep indeed to find an answer to Edberg.
Third set. Becker to serve. Quiet, please. Wait, please. Love.
Lovely wrong footing volley from Becker as he
love.
comes in much faster behind the second serve. Inside the service court there, and altogether looking more like the serve volleyer that he is.
(30-15). All.
I rather feel Becker was very conscious of Edberg coming in to really take charge of that second service. That's a great play.
It's the return of serve again. It's a very high ball, but Becker has to lunge to his side, and the beautiful touch on the topspin forehand lob there from Edberg, who is moving about the court so well today. He's thinking quickly and clearly, timing the ball beautifully, and quite obviously pumped up for this match. What a performance. So already a break point.
Oh, that's a beautiful return. That's a lovely return. It's a second service, but it's very deep, and Becker's quite quick coming in. But look at the angle. Crossing the sideline inside the cross service line. It's quite an angle. Just missed.
Advantage Becker.
Good service.
Game Becker. First game, third set. Edberg leads 2 sets to love.
And signs there of better serving and generally much faster about the court, thinking and moving, but responding rather well there, Becker.
And we've seen him before come out of tight situations. You'll remember what he did when Ivanisevic who really should have won the second set as well as the first against him. He found exactly the right shots at the right time, as great champions do. Mind you, today he's up against a very different proposition. A man who's beaten him in a final here a couple of years ago. And a player who is playing almost frighteningly well. Stefan Edberg has hardly made any unforced errors. He's played with great purpose, control and speed. And the only thing one can think of is that to maintain that level for 3 full sets against a man as good as Becker can be, he's not playing that well yet, but he might, would be a significant achievement. And frankly, that is the only question mark in my mind. If he can maintain this level, obviously he's going to prove that he's better on the day and have an easy win. But can he maintain it? Well, a lady from East Germany who's delighted us on the ice so many times, Katharina Witt there, the former world skating champion and I think Olympic champion, come to watch the matches. She's been here before. I wonder what she thinks of it all. Boris Becker has won his serve to open the third set.
Love 15. Love 30.
So here's some evidence that Becker is at last realizing how to tackle this task. The timing was good, it was early, and it was fierce. Love 30.
Yes.
Love 40.
And Becker from the right court again, getting that favourite shot of his going there, and perhaps misjudged by the server, who thought perhaps it was going out. Love 40.
15-40.
Well, the return a little bit too high, trying to take it early, needs to keep it lower, as Edberg's done against him.
And Becker can't afford to waste this third break point.
So this is the only game in which Becker has had break points against the Edberg serve, and 2 have gone.
Yes.
Jane Becker. Becker leads 2 games to love, third set.
So at last Becker threading them together. A sequence of really well-timed strokes off the ground. And now a really big service game, and he'll be well away in this third set.
Love. Love. Love.
Service there of power and accuracy, making the return of serve very valuable. 40 love.
Becker leads 3 games to love in the third set.
So
Edberg leads 2 sets to love.
So 3 first serves out of the for the 4 points, making such a difference there. All of them, the last 3 points being finished off with a volley behind the serve.
It seemed to me that at the change of ends after the first game of this set, he'd come to terms with the task, and he realized he just had to go for those returns, particularly on the backhand, which in the past have proved so devastating against all opponents. And he found 3 together, didn't he, in that Edberg service game, the only time he'd had the chance to break. And so now, not surprisingly, the percentage of first serves is rising. Still not high enough. And now the question is, will that unsettle Edberg? Because he had that game taken from him. It wasn't anything that he did, it was what Becker did to him. And he knows how devastating Boris can be, as indeed last year in the final here. But there's no need to panic, of course. He still just wants to play normally well and try and get back the break that he's lost. He's been given pause for thought, though, now. He has a fight on his hands. Love 3.
Love.
I don't think I've seen Edberg in this championship miss an overhead. That's a very sharp volley.
30 love.
Edberg determined never to let this slight miss-hit drop. Takes it as high as possible. Gets it away. 30 love. It's a beautiful shot.
30-15.
Yes.
Well, look where this serve lands.
30 all.
Just like Becker's were landing in the earlier part of this match, and like Becker, he pays the penalty, having to just fiddle with that little half volley that can do nothing but present a winning chance to Becker. So Becker's onslaught is beginning, it seems, to unsettle the Edberg serve.
$40-30. Becker leads 3-1, third set.
So often said, if he can only hold his serve throughout this set, it's his.
$15 love. First service. $30 love.
Two aces each.
First service. $40 love.
It's just miss it.
Didn't chop?
I think it does.
There was no chop.
Jeremy Shells having none of that. One fault. Beautiful return.
40-50.
That was very good second service by Becker. But what a lovely return. Oh, we had a chance.
Becker leads 4 games to 1 in the third set. Edberg leads 2 sets to love.
Well, how quickly this match has changed. Edberg at one point in time seemingly totally dominating. Then all of a sudden, in fact, the first game of this third set was absolutely key, it seemed to me, on Becker's serve. Becker, break point down, and it was Edberg who played the most superb lob. In fact, at that point, it was interesting that Edberg did a little bit of a victory leap, as it were. Very seldom do we see Edberg make any sign of expression on the court. But at this point, he did. I don't know whether that was something that really fired Becker up to see Edberg behaving in this way. And suddenly, the adrenaline seems to be starting to pump.
Time
for Edberg. He's hitting the ball harder, both on serve and definitely on the return of serve. So Becker really getting his game together now, playing with authority. So a little apology there from Becker for taking so long. Score 4-1, Becker's favour.
all.
Becker knows he was in the position to counter-attack the volleyer there. It could easily have been a pass on the forehand there. Badly timed, that ball. Foot fault call.
Second service.
Well, now as we look at this, we notice the back foot coming up towards the line. Wise man to let that one drop, but it's 1-fault. Foot fault called on second service.
40-30.
Just look at the back foot, it comes up, and yes, it touches the line before he strikes the ball, and He's had foot faults against him 2 or 3 times during this championship.
Well, what a lovely backhand return here from Becker. No doubt remembering a match that these two played in the Young Masters 1985 when foot faults by Edberg on that day, I think about 7 or 8 of them from memory, just turned the balance for Becker.
Advantage Edberg.
And that was rather unnecessary. I thought the ball really right on the Becker backhand, and trying to get around that on the forehand, it was really asking something.
Game Edberg. Becker leads 4 games to 2, third set.
I think, Dan, that says a lot about Edberg's resolve today, despite the foot fault, and Becker's blasting return coming through with 2 good points from deuce.
Love.
Well, that was very good high backhand volley to get it away first time. Seemed to be slightly off balance, Becker, but played it so well.
Love.
4-2, 30 loves, third set.
Oh! 30-15.
Well, the wind has been a bit troublesome all day, and it holds the ball up here, so the Becker has to try and improvise, and there he's reaching for it, loses his footing again as all the weight comes down on the front foot. He's been a bit bewildered by the wind all day. It's gusting. 30 all.
So Becker there in danger of the forehand running pass by Edberg, which he so often makes.
Game Becker. Becker leads 5 games to 2, third set. Edberg leads 2 sets to love.
What a fascinating battle this has become now, because Becker's clearly at peace with himself at last, playing the game he knows so well, well enough at least to contain Edberg. His serve is so much better now than it was at the start, and he's blasting his ground strokes to much greater effect. But you know, looking back over their 23 meetings, it's a curious thing to find that they've only ever once gone the full distance. And Edberg won that day after winning the first 2 sets in Paris on the clay last year, losing the third and fourth and winning the last 6-2. Though the match I mentioned earlier, only the second time they'd ever played, in January 1985 at the NEC in Birmingham. Dan, you and I did that match together. That was a glorious 5-set match, won eventually by Becker, after Edberg had won their only previous meeting in Cologne, and that was on a hard court. So I think we said then that here were 2 potential Wimbledon champions, and they fulfilled our prophecies much sooner than we thought.
So Edberg serving to stay in this third set, having won the first 2 sets 6-2, 6-2. And terrific sun shining still. Wasn't a chance.
15 love.
A glorious chance for a pass.
Again, the timing is beginning to come on those familiar backhands, which he so often hits to acute angles like that. 15 all.
Mm. 15-30. All.
Two 5, 30 all. Third set. That was a short serve. Deserved better than that, I think.
Becker leads 5 games to 3, third set. $15 love.
Good serve.
30 love.
Once again, the combination of power and accuracy.
Love.
So 3 set points for Becker. Oh, yes.
Moving in as he hits the ball so that the weight goes into the return and he finds that glorious angle. Still 2 set points.
Oh, goodness. Well, that really is quite extraordinary because he was in probably the driest part of the court there, inside the service line. As she comes in and the left foot goes and the ball drops well in. Still set point. Yes.
Deuce.
Well, I think that's terribly significant on that 3rd set point. He didn't try and hit his first ball, tried to place it in deep, and he knows how short the second one's been all day. Let him down again.
Both service.
Just missed. Yes.
Advantage Becker.
So a deadly volley off the high return gives Becker his 4th set point.
Becker wins the 3rd set, 6 games to 3. Edberg leads 2 sets to 1. New balls, please.
And shows us just how good he is when he's really seeing the ball and moving well. Very lovely flourish by Becker there to take that 3rd set.
After an hour and 36 minutes, then Becker gets his name on the scoreboard in terms of sets. And really, he's still got so much work to do, but at least the timing is beginning to come. And he's, I think, banished that rather lethargic air with which he started this match, occasioned, I'm sure, by the onslaught from Edberg, rasping the returns down his throat. He'll need to keep a good length on all second serves from now on and get a high percentage of first ones in if he's going to turn this match right round. And I think, Mark Cox, it seems to me that Edberg has momentarily at least has had his confidence jolted.
Sit quickly,
yes,
please.
I agree, John. The confidence really was jolted on the one game where Boris Becker really opened his shoulders and unleashed 4 winning shots. 3 of them were returns and 1 was a passing shot. And this is always, I suppose, the dilemma when playing Becker, that you never quite know when it's going to happen, and that's going to inevitably, that seed is going to be implanted in the brain there, an element of apprehension.
Edberg to
So
serve.
the service of Edberg in this initial game, very important.
Love 15. Love 30.
All seems to be well with Cyclops, the magic eye.
First service.
Oh!
Well, the footwork compared here, how well he moves across as compared with in the first set, quite extraordinary. Made himself lots of time there. 3 break points.
Well, it was the quickness on the volley that won Edberg the title here in '88, and he didn't hit then any better volleys than he did there.
(30-40).
Wonderfully deep volley that.
Deuce.
The high backhand return of Becker's being severely punished. So from love 40 to deuce in this opening game of the 4th set, 2 sets to 1 to Edberg.
Advantage Edberg. Game Edberg. First game, 4th set. Edberg leads 2 sets to 1.
So a great chance lost there by Becker at love 40.
And how well Edberg saved it. He really put in some fine first serves. And remember that volley he hit at break point. It might prove to be the shot of the match. So really, it is now very finely balanced, this match. And it's been turned Edberg's way largely because of the quality of serving. Edberg's own serve, 66%. That's very healthy against 59. Not high enough for Becker. That's first serves in. And if we look, I think, at the points won, on first serves about equal. But remember, Edberg's getting more in. And the second serve percentage lamentable for Becker. They've been too short. And Edberg has just had a field day. Well, now I'm going to ask my colleagues here to stick their necks out. At this point, who is going to win this match? I would have to say at the moment that I think Edberg is, but do you agree with me?
So would I. So would I, leading 2 sets to 1, and just having come back from love 40 to hold. What about you, Mark?
Yes, I thought that last game was a key game for Edberg. The match had definitely gone into Becker's favour, but to come back from love 40, but it wasn't just the love 40, it was the way he played those points that was the factor, the key.
Well, Edberg's got everything to play for, but Becker's made fools of us all before. I wonder if he'll do it again.
Love 15.
Oh, that's a gem of a volley. Not only was the return magnificent, he hits it and comes in to offset with a volley, if possible, the serving volleyer. But Becker's volley, so good. A confidence-giving point for Becker. Slipped. Well played. What does surprise me is how often Becker is slipping, because the court is perfectly dry now. But he gets a net cord there, which helps him.
Well, the point is, Dan, Edberg is not.
(40-15). First service.
Well, you're often hear that when you've hit a good lob over your opponent's head that he has to let bounce, then you must...
(40-30).
Deuce.
And the sudden change of service down to the forehand didn't work at all. Edberg too much awake for it. That's a beautiful shot.
Well, there's a good backswing here. He has time to hit the backswing on the forehand return just now. There was no backswing at all. It was more like a volley. My goodness, he's timing it so well. So a break point in these early stages of the fourth set. Danger for Becker.
Deuce. First service. Advantage Becker.
Very heavy, good length serve.
One game all, fourth set.
And that forehand cross-court volley of Becker's has been one of his most successful shots today. Edberg had a break point there in that game.
Love 15.
We haven't seen too many of these from Becker today because up to this point his timing hasn't been that sweet on the forehand returns. Becker, he did a few good backhands though.
All. (15:30).
A really aggressive Becker there, 3 times, opening his shoulders each time to the blow off the ground.
30 all.
What will Becker do with this second service? Threatened it by running around.
30-40.
Break point.
Becker leads 2 games to 1 in the 4th set. Edberg leads 2 sets to 1.
So Becker is a great man for rising to the occasion. We saw it against Ivanisevic when, apparently hopelessly outplayed on the serve, he nevertheless found the service returns and found the volleys that mattered to break the young man when he served for the set at 6-5 and then won the tiebreak. And I think that last point rather illustrated it, because the way he moves into this excellent serve and takes it with all his weight going forward and just a little bit of roll on the ball to give the topspin after, remember, Edberg had served his 3rd double fault. And here it is from the side view. There it is, getting the weight into the ball and ready, if necessary, to go in, and knowing what a key moment in the match that was. It's given him the break first, having failed in the opening game and survived a break point on his serve. It's become so competitive that the least slip by either of them will let the other through. And I was taken to task the other day by my old friend Bunny Austin, the former British Davis Cup player, who said that I was suggesting when he was playing Mansdorf that we were waiting to see which. Always the case that the man has to crack. Sometimes it's the superb play of the opponent, with both of them still playing with full confidence. And of course he's right. 2-1.
Love.
And Becker putting that into the unexpected corner. Edberg expecting him to come across the court.
Love. Love.
And the server Becker picking up the half volley in better fashion that time, getting depth on it.
Game Becker. Becker leads 3 games to 1. 4th set.
And he'll feel probably very good after that love service game.
15 love. $30 love.
That's a remarkable shot. If it's in, it's very close.
30-15.
And it's in. He plays this on the rise as he's running. And he gets almost an impossible angle under pressure like that. Just on the line, I think.
40-15.
Yes, it is.
Game Edberg. Becker leads 3 games to 2 in the 4th set. Edberg leads 2 sets to 1.
So after almost 2 hours of play, the issue's still very much open. There it goes. They've been in play for 2 hours. Thanks to Becker's really renewed spirit and renewed ability to return the serve and to get better depth on his own serves. So the pressure, though, will still be on Boris Becker, who has yet to draw level in this match. He's always been behind. And the way Edberg is playing, I don't suppose that is going to be an easy task. Remember, he won the opening game of the match, and since then, he's always been trailing. And Edberg, it seemed to me, was a very relaxed individual when he came out here. I was having a chat to him with Tony Pickard, and he was just chewing a sandwich and talking about this and that, and was very, very relaxed indeed. He got himself keyed up for the match. Becker, incidentally, had practiced with Vijay Amritraj to give the rhythm that he thought Edberg would be providing for him on the court today. So Becker still has this break, but it is only 1. He can't afford to slip, can he? 3-2.
We're played indeed.
$15 love.
Both playing well at the same time here.
Wait, please.
Well reached. When they're both playing well at the same time, we're seeing some very fine rallies. And as the match progresses, I think we're likely to see more.
$15 all.
Out.
30-15. 40-15.
Can't get much nearer the line than that with the service. That's good serve.
Becker leads 4 games to 2, 4th set.
And the service really clicking that time. Is it? It's just too long.
Love 15.
Yes, I don't think there's much doubt the call was correct. It's a beautifully struck pass. This, he gets his feet right, all his weight into the shot and the shoulder down.
No. How can you overrule such a close call? No, I didn't. You cannot overrule such a close call. Better to stay as it is. Better not to get involved.
Jeremy Shales has overruled the pass there. So instead of 15 love 15, and a mental hurdle here for Edberg to surmount.
First service.
Lovely volley.
$15 all. $30-15. $40-15.
Lovely volley, right on the line.
Game Edberg. Becker leads 4 games to 3, 4th set. Edberg leads 2 sets to 1.
Well, it seemed to me that Edberg showed us there the quality of his mental toughness these days. We used to think that sometimes he used to get despondent and dispirited and didn't quite believe in himself as a champion, something that he's since disproved by winning here in '88, beating Becker in the final. It was a very, very awkward moment, the first point of that game, when Becker had actually hit a very good return and he hit a very good volley deep, and then the backhand pass was hit. Worth seeing that again, I think. Here's the start of the game. So it's 2-4 at the moment, and the first point. Always a crucial point, the first point of any service game. It's a little bit short, so the service return is good. Becker thunders that return, and I think correctly, seeing it again there, I think it was out, and yet Jeremy Shales honestly believed it hit the line. I think we all think here that it was probably long. And yet he won the next 4 points and held serve. So you're looking at a very, very tough match player now who's dispelled any doubts about his ability to come through difficult situations. So Becker still with the slender of advantage of 1 service break, 4-3.
Love.
Clever play by Becker.
30 love.
Well, here he goes in very quickly, but the return is so early, and Edberg gets rather closer to the net. And, of course, that love volley was the gem by Becker. 30 love.
Love.
You've got to be quick as a linesman here too to avoid physical injury.
(40-15). (40-30). First service. Becker leads 5-3, 4th set.
Just out.
Love 15.
Lovely counter-attacking shot by Becker off the deep baseline. It's a winner who just reached it. He just reaches this return off the end of the racket, but it's a very, very effective reply. Love 30.
15-30.
Oh.
All.
Three, 5, 30 all. It's in. It's in. Line judge's hands turned palm down to the ground to show that it was in.
30-40.
And here it comes, a full-blooded, uninhibited backhander. And so that's set point. What a great second service.
Deuce.
That was a magnificent second service, right on the sideline. That's a wonderful shot.
Swung because the serve, like so many of Becker's today, was far too short. So here's a second set point.
That's it.
So after 2 hours, 15 minutes, that's the situation.
Becker wins the fourth set, 6-3, 2 sets all.
Well, what a tantalizing match this has become. And Becker has been getting better and better and better imperceptibly. So as this match has unfolded, only one break of serve won in the third set. 2 breaks now have won in the fourth, and he'll be serving first as the fifth begins. Well, if you want to look at history, equally tantalizing, that one young Masters 5-set match when this man had just turned 17 and Edberg was 19 back in 1985. That was in Birmingham indoors, and the match in Paris last year won by Edberg here, 6-2 in the fifth. He'd won the first 2 sets that day as well. So you can pay your money and take your choice. I'm going to ask either of you if you're going to change your mind about the result.
I don't know about that, John, but just on the basis of 5-set matches, it's Becker's won all 3 5-set matches that he's played here at Wimbledon. And Edberg is 3-2 up. He lost 2, but back in 1984. So that was to Creek, and 1 match prior to that. So both of them have pretty good records over 5 sets, but Becker's is slightly the better.
But who's going to win?
Becker to serve.
My prediction was wrong last time, but one has to say that now, if Becker maintains this vein, if the adrenaline pumps like it's continuing to pump, he must be the favourite.
Love. 30 love. Love.
So Becker's fifth ace, equaling the number of double faults he served.
Game Becker. First game, final set.
So for the first time in the match, Becker goes ahead by one game, but psychologically, what a break for him. 1-love final set, having been 2 sets to love down.
And I suppose perhaps the serving of Becker, which we've talked about so much and has been such a key feature of this match, has surprised some of us that he hasn't served as many aces today as he usually does, just 5. And altogether, during the course of these championships, he served 50 aces before today on the 6 matches to get here, against 22 double faults. There were a lot of double faults, really, in 6 matches. I'm so sorry, 44 double faults, which is an awful lot for somebody to serve, 44 in 6 matches.
Time.
Edberg's 22 aces and 18 double faults in his on his way to the final here. And here's a man who knows all about winning finals, Fred Perry, in the center of your picture, in the dark glasses and the white hair now. The champion here in 1934, 35 and 36.
Foot fault.
$15 love. $15 all. $30-15. $40-15.
Oh, I see.
40-30.
That really was wild, wild second service. That's a good serve.
Stefan Edberg. One game all, final set.
So in spite of the 2 double faults there, Edberg taking that game to 30.
Love.
Edberg still the dancing feet at the back of the court there in preparation for the service return. Oh!
15 all.
By missing that sort of volley, he's given Edberg a little bit of hope. He really shouldn't have missed it. It was quite an easy one. A little bit of lost concentration. $15.
Yes. Well, it's a good return of serve. It's dipping. It's a low volley, a difficult one, but beautifully in position for that shot over the high part of the net down the line, and it brings the score to 15-30. Somehow I felt that was going to happen. That first service of his, it was a strained serve. He really seemed to force it, over-pressing. Two break points. Still break point. Beautifully done. Yeah, good service and a very quick approach to the net behind it, and such a simple backhand volley, wrong footing the opponent. So 1-all deuce.
Advantage Becker.
Oh, that's a glorious volley. There is Becker. The momentum carried right out behind the umpire chair.
Game Becker. Becker leads 2-1. Final set.
altogether different look about Boris Becker now. The serve is more confident, and he's certainly covering the court much quicker. Gone is the lethargy that dogged him for 2 sets. And so he must now believe that he at least has a chance to win this title, which some minutes ago must have seemed quite unlikely. And of course, behind that screen, unseen by the players, the preparations already in hand for the presentation ceremony, which will take place on court afterwards. The familiar table with its Union Jack, waiting that lovely gold trophy, the Challenge Cup, presented by King George V. And I wonder who it will be that holds it aloft in the familiar way for all the photographers to enjoy. So Edberg knows that he had a momentary chance on the first of the break points just now, and he slightly choked on the backhand pass. So instead of 2-1, 1-2.
love.
Now that's the sort of play when both of them are at their best. A magnificent serve, a better return, a lovely volley, and a counter-attacking half volley a la Borg against McEnroe, and we see that sort of classic play there. Really lovely, lovely play that. Oh.
30-15.
And service.
40-15.
It's a very wild first serve. You know, that often happens when a man has served a really wild first service. So often he hasn't any feel, he loses the range, he loses the timing. That could be a very expensive double fault. It's 40-30. A winner. And what classic footwork we see from Becker here as he runs round his backhand and produces the forehand winner down the backhand line. We saw nothing of that from him in the first 2 sets. Deuce.
Advantage Edberg.
So vintage Becker here. He's hit some glorious returns in this game. Very powerful forearm to make a shot like that. Deuce again.
Out. Advantage, Becker.
So, a break point.
Game, Becker. Becker leads 3 games to 1. Final set.
And has that break of service decided the championship?
Rather windier than it might appear to you at home. And it is the wind that disturbed the toss and caused him to hesitate. So whatever is Tony Pickard thinking now? So near. And yet so far. 3-1.
Love 15.
It's a great wrong footing volley.
15 all.
Taking the pace off this first serve to make sure he gets it in. And he is in fast for that beautifully punched backhand volley. 15 all. Well, it might have been a misjudgment here from Becker. Judge for yourself whether this ball is going to go out. We thought so here. Becker mishits that one and pays the penalty. So a glimmer of hope for Sweden. 15-30.
And I defy anyone to see where Becker was going to put that ball. His racket went back not more than a couple of inches, using the other man's speed of shot to get the pace and the penetration. So 3-1, 30 all, final set.
30-40.
And I wonder if Becker was holding his racket tightly enough to withstand that fierce backhand from Edberg. Break point. Put it out.
Becker leads 3-2. Final set.
Well, I wonder what my old friend Bunny Austin thought of all that. 2 games running now. We've seen both players suffering from tension and making unaccustomed errors. None more serious for Becker's hopes than this last point of the previous game. What would have been a routine winner becomes a loser because he wanted to go close enough to the line to prevent Edberg from making his pass. Always in these stages of the final set, it's about character. And certainly Edberg's character tested severely by the wind and by his inability to time the second serves. Those 2 double faults, the 6th and 7th in the previous service game, still there in the back of his mind. He knows he's got to go out and serve to try and level it now, and the knowledge that the wind is making it difficult for him to serve normally. Well, I think before this match began, we hoped that we might see a classic, and it certainly turned into one. With the brilliance of this man's first 2 sets, the courage of Becker's recovery, finding a way somehow to crack the Swedish spirit, and now very much open, with Edberg back on level terms as far as breaks are concerned.
Love.
That's a wonderful volley.
Well, look at the first volley here, getting down to it beautifully, punching it to within an inch or 2 of the sideline and a foot of the baseline. It's his first volleying that stamps him as one of the great players of the era. 30 love.
Love.
Yes.
40-15. Games all, final set.
So after very nearly 2 3/4 hours, the issue well and truly joined now. 3-all, final set.
Quiet, please.
He's asked a very difficult question here, Becker. That is the one He had to make that deep, and it was the depth that prevented Edberg really from getting enough on his attempted pass. Well balanced here, Becker, and he has time, because the first volley was deep, to make that lovely stop volley with delicate touch.
Yes.
30 love. Love.
Ah.
40-15.
Becker rather guilty of trying to play the delicate drop volley off a very, very difficult return of serve. A safe volley was the answer there, and quite sure. 40-15.
Game Becker. Becker leads 4-3. Final set.
Well, an absolutely fascinating set here. It's so difficult to separate these two players, because when they're either both playing confidently or both of them are almost intimidated by the nerves of their opposition. In fact, Edberg having two very difficult games on his serve, serving double faults. And in situations like this, where nervous tension comes into it, the wind, which is quite blustery out here, players respond. So Boris Becker holding that service game quite convincingly. And there we can see the wind above the royal box.
Time.
It's very difficult with the ball toss as it moves around as the ball is hit. It's all a question really now of courage. Who can come to grips with this match and take it?
Becker must be very thankful that he broke for the second time in the previous set to win that set, so that he served first in the fifth. Such an advantage at this stage.
Love. Love.
Once again, the combination of power and accuracy. Here we see a real top of the bounce return, uninhibited shot, just clearing the net. No chance for the server. So after that lovely low volley, Where's this serve going? Backhand, forehand, straight at the body?
Four games all, final set.
1988 champion there, playing a champion's game just when it was needed.
Look again where this serve bounces halfway up the court. And he had cured that fault for most of the third and fourth sets and most of this fifth. This is not the time to drop the serve short.
At this stage of the match, this is a dream shot. A good serve, and look at that angle.
Love 30.
Absolutely perfect there. Both feet off the ground, top of the bounce. And how thrilled he must have been at that one. That's a very, very good volley. Just checked it beautifully.
15-30.
Becker comes in there, a lovely low volley, and this one, he just checks it. 15-30. So the previous error gives Edberg 2 break points. Two break points. It's a beautiful lob. It's a wonderful lob.
New ball, please. Edberg leads 5-4, final set.
With a perfectly played last point on the Becker service game. Becker has to make all the pace on the floated return, and he does it well. It's a perfectly placed volley to within a foot of the baseline. There's the blocked return. But look how he reacts to hit his lob. And he chooses exactly the right moment, learning from the third point of the game when Becker had played the little stop volley and would have been dead to a lob. And he knows that that could be the moment of victory, because he only now has to hold these 4 service points. And all day, the first returns have been so crucial.
New balls.
And what a moment to have the new tennis balls to assist him as he serves for a second Wimbledon singles title.
Love 15.
So it was a really fierce counter-attacking half volley by Becker. Do or die shot that came off, aided by the net cord. Love 15.
All.
Lovely fine deep service. Yes. So 2 championship points for Stefan Edberg, and to his eternal credit, a great serve after that mishit first serve. So 2 championship points.
But
after that glorious backhand return, still championship point. He's done it. He's done it. He's done it.
sets to 2, 6-2, 6-2, 3-6, 3-6, 6-4.
And he achieves his second Wimbledon championship in 2 hours and 58 minutes. And that was the most exciting finish to a match I've seen for a long time. Wonderful play by the 24-year-old Swede. And for Becker, not to win his 4th championship, but a wonderful recovery. He was 2 sets down, remember, not playing well, couldn't serve. And here is the man of the moment, Stefan Edberg. The Davis Cup star for his country, and one of the greatest exponents of grass court tennis. And everybody standing here to acclaim the winner.
And I wonder who got the trophy of the Edberg shirt that he threw into the crowd just now. What a moment for the family and supporters. Edberg's brother there and girlfriend. Always a difficult moment for the loser. Boris, who fought back so magnificently and thought, I'm sure, before he walked on court that he was going to win a 4th title.
So the royal party coming down. Her Royal Highness the Duchess of York, Kate, I mean, and her husband, of course. And followed by the various officials, and the usual congratulations to the ball girls and ball girls who have done once again such a wonderful job. Becker, what is going through his mind? He can't believe it. He was so near when he had a 3-1 lead.
These youngsters all come from the Beacon School, Banstead, formerly Nork Park, and what a day for them. A chat with the Duke.
And here's the famous trophy, the Challenge Cup presented to the club by King George V. And the winner will also get a Challenge Cup presented by the club. And silver replicas. But it will be the runner-up, I think, who will come up first. And what a glorious day for a 5-set final and for this presentation. So, instead of the cup itself, he has a silver tray of the replica. And here is the champion. For the second time, a man who served his country well and served tennis well all over the world. Former junior champion. And how well he fought back from a 1-3 deficit in that 5th set. And some reward for this man who was in the final of the Australian Championships in January and had the misfortune to injure himself and had to scratch to Lendl.
And a little matter of £203,000 to go along with that gold trophy.
230, is it, John?
£230,000 indeed. Half as much to the winner.
So Jeremy goes forward. Jeremy Shales. The first man to have umpired every championship event at Wimbledon. And a thank you, I'm sure, from the Duchess and the Duke to Alan Mills, who once again has brought this championship near to its end. Just one more match to go. All the wonderful names on there. Of course, his will go on it for the second time. And perhaps in the history of grass court tennis, we haven't had a better example of how to play it than Tony Pickard. Faithful Tony Pickard, former Davis Cup player, now turned coach and mentor to the champion. Tony, who suffered a nasty injury earlier in the year, this is a reward for him too. And Boris, he can just sit and ruminate, but knowing that he had the great chance at 3-1 in the final set.
Well, I think when we saw these youngsters long ago, this one, the world's best junior of his year, that was way back in 1983. I think we knew then that he had such tremendous talent and would one day, we hoped, fulfill it. And the lovely thing is that they've both fulfilled it, Mark Cox.
Yes, absolutely. And what a terrific match that we had here. One of the best we've had for many, many years. I think is back 1982 when we last had a 5-set encounter with Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe. But a match of such fluctuating fortunes, and Boris Becker, when he reflects, having had that 3-1 lead in the 5th set, the match virtually sewn up, and then it eluded him.
And the world's press needs to be satisfied with the chance to take the ultimate picture that will wing its way on the wires around the world. Well, how nice that the Duchess of Kent should just have a little word of consolation to a man she's congratulated already 3 times in the past. And he must be bitterly disappointed that he couldn't convert it, but all credit to his opponent. And how nice that when it was over, Boris walked across the net and embraced his opponent. The match played, as always, between these two in the greatest spirit. Not a moment of unpleasantness at all. And I think a thoroughly fitting end to this Wimbledon, which has been something of a watershed, I think. The atmosphere is certainly a little bit lacking because of the loss of the standing room. But in the end, the atmosphere created by the brilliance of these two, so that this crowd here really got just as excited as anybody who once stood. I think this is such a nice departure. Dan started about 4 or 5 years ago to parade the cup around the court so that all the fans get a good look at it and a wave from the champion. A lap of honour, you might call it.
Lap of honour. And no doubt, John, after this, to the crowd outside, who didn't have the good fortune to get a seat, he'll probably go outside, as Martina did yesterday, and show the trophy. And that, I think, is also a lovely innovation. So now they go to the harbour of the dressing room for a moment or two, and then prepare for the inevitable interviews. And as they go, let's savour that was a wonderful match in the end.